the Chief Magistrate GULU. I thank you secondly for the initiative that you take to discuss matters that affect this area. Because I believe the leadership of the district, the leadership of the area, from the matters that you discuss would identify a clue, would get a clue as to how to address these matters. We are very grateful for that. Thirdly, I share with you the agony you are in as a region and actually also as a country for the incidents that have been taking place in this area. The Ayoniba hitmen, I don't understand the language that you've been speaking, but I seem to hear the word Ayoniba. I know it is the question of Ayoniba hitmen. And when it came to the death of our colleague, we were all saddened. We are very sorry for that. I think I will not speak just far. I will let you field the questions so that I answer them as they come in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Magistrate for GULU. My question is, the 30 people that were suspected to have been the criminal have been released, I think through the court. What actually happened? I think let us get about 3 people so that you answer them at once. Let me welcome George Bola.
Your Worship, I have 2 questions. One is that since last year, 222 people have been arrested as per the records, which were stated by the police. Out of that, others were remanded, others were convicted. But during the judgment, they were given judgment which are like 6 months, 3 months. My question to you, in comparison, how do we have to convict a man who is hitting the head of a human being compared to a man whom your colleague Worship Owino in prison, a chicken stealer to 8 years imprisonment? A person who has hit a person is being given only 6 months. What is happening within that? Secondly, I want to know if judiciary are part of the security committee at the district, or they are part of people who should play security role of the humanity in the area. If so, why is GULU Magistrate not being seen to be do that? If yes, why are we waiting for until we are being called than being part of the community? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. My question is, why are most of the cases brought before court are thrown away? Is it not properly investigated? The first one? The first one is
Mr. Komakech. Yes. You asked about the 40 people who were released and what exactly happened. The procedure with the courts of law is that a matter is brought from police. The case is brought from police. The file is registered in our registry. Then the Chief Magistrate, who is in charge of the court, allocates this file to a particular magistrate. So I may not offhand be able to tell you which particular magistrate handled this file where 40 people were released. But what happens usually is when a file is brought before a magistrate, he reads a charge to the people who have been brought before him. They are called accused persons. When the charge is ready to them, he tells them, you did this. The allegation by police is that you did this. The person has the right to say, I did it, I did not do it. When he says, I did it, the magistrate goes ahead to convict that person and pass sentence. If the person accused says, I never did it, what the magistrate does is to remand this person, give prosecution time to present evidence in court against this person. That is the procedure. So I don't know what exactly happened in this matter, but what I seem to believe is that when these people were brought to court, the magistrate to them the charge, remanded them pending presentation of evidence by the police and prosecution. But I think witnesses never turned up. Nobody came to court to say that these people committed this offense. I saw them committing this offense. The magistrate had no alternative in such circumstances other than setting these people free. That is what happens. The other situation would be if evidence has been taken in a matter, people come and testify in a case, but the magistrate looks at the evidence and thinks that it does not disclose any case against these people. It does not show at all that these people committed the offense. That's a second scenario. The third scenario would be when he acquits them. He finds they have a case to answer, they are given a chance to present their side of the story, and when he weighs the evidence, the prosecution side and the side of these accused persons, he finds they are innocent. He can acquit them. So since I have not had the opportunity of looking at the file which my colleague magistrate handled, I may not be able to tell exactly what happened, but the most likely situation is that there was no evidence at all. Nobody came as witness against these people.
My question is just straight to the point. In regards to witnesses, there are high-profile cases where a crime is committed, like this Ayonba hit name. They are isolated in places. You don't have people to witness that somebody is hit. And then there are very many mechanisms used to get these criminals, like police dogs and other things. And indeed, when the police dog follows and gives directive, you get even exhibits and things that shows that these people really did it. And the blood stain and other things. How do you handle this issue? Because now a dog cannot now witness in court.
Yeah, dog evidence is accepted in the courts of law. But what happens is somebody comes and speaks for the dog. The police person who is called the dog handler, he comes and presents evidence as to how he took the dog to the scene of crime, how the dog moved, and then on the basis of the testimony of the police officer, we make a decision whether or not the person is guilty. But under the law, dog evidence cannot be relied on solely. It needs a bit of corroboration. You need to support it somehow. So you may not base yourself solely on the evidence of a dog to convict a person. That is the problem. But even then, when these people get acquitted, sometimes even the police person, the police dog handler, may not turn up as witness. That could cause a problem. So you may not blame the courts for acquitting these people, setting them at liberty, dismissing the cases when you knew that there was a dog trail leading up to this person.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me get another person.
Somebody was talking about 222 people arrested, some remanded, others convicted. What is your question about it? You can clarify.
Your Worship, my question about this victim was, one, the people who are convicted were given sentence of 6 months, others are 1 year, and most of them have finished their sentence. While in the same court of law before, we know, a chicken thief, somebody who just stole a chicken, was sentenced to 8 years. We have it in record here. Now, how do you compare the life of a chicken and a human being? And what happened in that court?
Yes. Now, I may not be able to explain exactly what happened because I have not had the opportunity of looking at the files. But what happens is sentencing is the discretion intention of the magistrate handling the matter. It depends on how he looks at the matter, how grave it is, and decides which sentence to pass. You might be thinking that these people were charged for the offense of hitting other people. No, what happens is that most of the people brought, because of the incidents of iron bar hitting, they are usually charged for the offense of being idle and disorderly. They are not charged for hitting a person. So idle and disorderly, the maximum penalty is, I think, 6 months in the maximum. So I don't know, I wouldn't explain why the magistrate, His Worship Owino, decided to pass 8 years imprisonment for a chicken thief. He may have weighed the circumstances under which it happened, and they thought 8 years imprisonment was the appropriate sentence. What happens if you think you are aggrieved by a sentence passed by a magistrate? If you think it is terrible, one way or the other, if you think it is very light, if you think it is in the extreme, you have a right to appeal to a higher court. When there is a chief magistrate, you can relate this matter to the chief magistrate. The chief magistrate will immediately refer the file to the judge for revision. Instead of you appealing, which would be a longer process, you can bring the matter to the attention of the chief magistrate, and then the chief magistrate would send the file over to the judge for revision orders. Then the judge would maybe bring the sentence down or raise it as he thinks appropriate.
Thank you, Speaker. Sincerely, I want to thank Your Worship for coming. Even though you came late, but better late than never. I have few questions to raise. One, when we had a meeting with IGP, the local leadership of GULU, they came with one position, citing a lot of problem in the court of GULU in response to complaint coming from the community about bribery. They even mentioned names of resident state attorney, some 2 names, of which I'll not give it out. Now, what is your take on the position of local leadership of GULU? Because they vow to close GULU court if these 2 alleged resident state attorneys are not removed from GULU or transferred from GULU. In fact, we love to hear from you. Then lastly, is there any problem that you can share with the community that you think GULU court is giving to the community that is not making your judgment really move well? Thank you so much.
And actually another question. Let us not make the statement, but let us be specific to the question.
Generally, my question to me, I think, was clear. We love you to share the challenges that you are getting in the office. If at all in the community they have problem, definitely we love you to share so that we understand. Because we believe that even some of issues that are raised or files, the case that they have leveled against a suspected person, people believe they reduce to a lesser case. So definitely we love you to share with the community so that we understand and we support you people. Thank you.
Another person, let me welcome. Okay, Richard.
Thank you, our guest, the speaker, and parliamentarians. I have just 2 questions for you. One is, to what extent should the evidence be for the offense committed at night? And how do a court handle just offense? To what extent should the offense that is committed at night be in the court? Or how should the court handle just offenses? Then 2, a person remanded for a criminal offense but the complainant is not coming. What can the court do? A person remanded for criminal offense, but the complainant is not coming. What can the court do?
There was a question of the local leadership complaining about the state attorneys. We have a state attorney called, the one I work with is called Bayo, is the one who appears in my court. After meeting the IGP, I think it was on Thursday, he came over to me and told me that the community, the local leadership raised serious complaints against the state attorneys. And they expressed a lot of misgiving about the nature of the complaints that the local leadership were raising against them. I may not have much to say about this because that's a different department altogether. The DPP, that is the DPP, for them they handle their matters in their own way. For us, we only get files after they have sanctioned them. The procedure is when a matter is reported to police, the police do their investigations, they present the file to the state attorney peruses the records of evidence that have been placed before them and advises what other investigation should be carried out and then what charges should be presented. That is for the DPP. So whether or not they reduce charges, I don't know, but usually if you think, and it happens, if you think they have lowered a charge from, for example, attempted murder to doing grievous harm, or from attempted murder to common assault, you have a right to complain. You have a right to complain. If you think that the person hurt you so badly that it was close to attempted murder, but is being charged for a minor offense, which would attract a light sentence, you have a right to complain to the DPP so that they take action about this. Then the challenges of the courts. For us as the courts of law, when we are doing our work, our major challenge is non-attendance of witnesses. We would love, as much as possible, to do justice in a matter. We feel bad when we see a person whom we suspect to be a criminal going home scot-free without being punished, simply because witnesses have not turned up. There's nothing much we can do about it. So that is the only challenge for us. Let the community be sensitized well enough for the witnesses to turn up, and then the courts of law would do the justice. But what happens, I think, in the practical life, when people report cases to police, sometimes they change. Their minds tend to change. They think maybe that is enough. Maybe people come to them and talk to them and they say, let me give up about it. So they end up not turning up as witnesses. And all we have to do is to dismiss these cases. So the burden of proof, somebody was saying the burden of proof in offenses committed at night. Somebody commits an offense at night, under the law, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. It is the duty of the side complaining to prove the guilty of an accused. The standard under the law is beyond reasonable doubt. You must prove the allegations you are putting against a person beyond reasonable doubt. It is not for the accused person to prove his innocence. For you must present all the evidence which you think proves the allegations beyond reasonable doubt. Beyond reasonable doubt. Beyond reasonable doubt means, of course, in all matters that happen in this world,
members, can we give?
There is always going to be doubt.
I'm requesting.
There is always going to be doubt.
Let us give him humble time so that he can answer those questions respectively.
There is always going to be doubt in whatever happens in this world. But what we are saying beyond reasonable doubt is that the doubt which you harbor as court should be reasonable. Don't just doubt each and everything. So when an offense is committed at night, what is important is identification. The element of identification is very crucial. Did you identify the person who did this? The court will critically look at that matter, and they say, considering the circumstances, considering that it was dark, considering that he was distant from the victim, considering that he took a very short time with the victim, he may not have identified him. The end result would be an acquittal. The person charged for a criminal offense, but complainant not turning up. That's what I said at first. When the complainant does not turn up, we have set a standard that let the case come up 3-4 times. Witnesses, no, the state attorney would say, witnesses not there. Witnesses not there. We say, hearing is scheduled to this date. The final, on the 4th day, when the matter comes up on the 3rd day, depending on the discretion of the magistrate, we dismiss the case for want of prosecution. But what happens is, if we dismiss it in that way, you can always reinstate it if you're ready. You can come as a complainant police and they say, I saw the person I complained against, he's free. I want my case, I had a problem, I had traveled to Kampala, I was not here, so I want my case resurrected, and it would be resurrected.
Give us your words, your last word, and some kind of the messages for people of GULU.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I had the members, we call you the members of Parliament, the honorable members,
yes,
accusing me of coming a little late. For this, I apologize. But
accepted?
Yes. Yeah. When I did my lunch at around 2:30, I received a call from the person who invited me.
Yes.
I told him that I had set my alarm to wake me up, but somehow I set it badly. So it woke me up rather late. I apologize for this. But I appreciate the effort you are putting into the security of this area. I can see that you seriously concerned about what is going on in this area, and what goes on here is also happening in Kampala. When we listen into what you are saying, as I said at the beginning, we get a clue as to how we can tackle these problems. So it's a learning process. I can see most of you, the way you are talking, the vigor with which you are addressing matters, you are aspiring to most likely become politicians for the future. No, I have no hesitation other than wishing you the best in your aspirations. So, but as courts of law, as I said, we are interested to do justice. We handle both civil and criminal matters. It's unfortunate that the public may not appreciate the difference between these things. When somebody, for example, encroaches on your land, you think it's a criminal matter. Yet, ideally, it should be a civil matter. What you would want the court to do for you is not to put this person in prison. What you want the court to do for you is to decide who is the owner of this piece of land. So there is a problem that people don't know. For example, if a person, if you lend a person money and he doesn't pay you, you think he's a thief. You want to report him to police. That essentially is a civil matter, which is a matter of contract. You've lent somebody money, he has breached the contract. People don't seem to appreciate these things. We have been organizing what are called the court open days, so that the members of the public can come and we sensitize them about these things. But unfortunately, not many people turn up. We would love to take opportunity of gatherings like this to address the people over such matters. I am sorry that I came late, that maybe I did not get time enough to address all these matters. I think when you get another occasion, you should always be able to invite me. I'm going to be available. Thank you very much.